Welcome back to Future Minds, everybody. You know the drill. It's time for the deep dive. We take a whole bunch of information and try to pull out the good stuff. And today we're looking at DeepSeek and whether it's going to totally upend the AI world. I mean, you see the markets going crazy, investors going nuts. So is it all hype or is there something real here?
Well, to start, you got to see what makes DeepSeek different. Everyone's out there building these huge AI models, right? But DeepSeek, they didn't do that. Instead, they basically figured out how to crack open these existing models and get the knowledge that's inside, like ChatGPT, for example.
Whoa, back up. Crack open. That sounds kind of, I don't know, aggressive. How'd they pull that off?
Okay, so imagine you're playing Battleship, but you're not looking for ships. You're trying to pinpoint actual bits of knowledge inside the AI. So DeepSeek, they hit the model with all these carefully thought out prompts and, get this, they analyze those responses to figure out how the model sees the world.
So it's not like they're building a new AI from the ground up. It's more like, are they learning how to talk to the AI and get it to spill the beans? That's wild. And I bet that saves a ton of cash, am I right?
You got it. I mean, training AI the old way, it's crazy expensive, hundreds of millions of dollars, and you need tons of computing power. But DeepSeek says, we can do the same thing, way cheaper. Like millions instead of hundreds of millions, thousands of GPUs, not hundreds of thousands.
Okay, now that's a total game changer. I'm betting companies like NVIDIA, the ones who built their whole business on these fancy GPUs, they're probably sweating a bit, right?
Let's just say it's shaking things up. Think about it. You're a company, right? You just dumped billions into AI infrastructure, and suddenly this new company pops up like, hold my beer, we can do it better, faster, cheaper.
Ooh, talk about getting blindsided.
Yeah.
So DeepSeek isn't focusing on that hardcore training. What are they up to?
It's a completely different focus. They're moving from training to reasoning. Their bet is that the real power of AI isn't just memorizing stuff. It's about getting it, making connections, drawing conclusions. They're pushing what we thought was even possible with these models.
So instead of just spitting out random facts from the internet, these AIs could, understand physics or chemistry.
Exactly. Imagine an AI that doesn't just predict the next word,
Yeah.
One that understands the actual principles of, everything.
Okay, now that's where things get interesting. But here's a thought. What happens when we need AI to tackle something brand new, Something these pre-trained models have never encountered? Does DeepSeek's method just hit a dead end?
Now that's the million-dollar push-in, because their whole approach is based on what these existing models already know. Super efficient, sure, but it makes you wonder, what happens when we need AI to go where no AI has gone before?
Yeah, it's a tough one. Investors are kind of freaking out, Some are like, DeepSeek, this is it. This is the next level of AI. But others are like, wait, are they just building on someone else's work? What happens if that foundation crumbles?
So it's a total free-for-all out there for investors. Everyone's just throwing their money at anything AI-related and hoping for the best.
Well, there's definitely that gold rush feeling, Everyone wants to get in on the action. But, the smart investors are starting to ask the hard questions like, will we even need all this fancy AI training anymore?
Yeah.
As we get into, more complex stuff? Or is DeepSeek telling us that the whole game is changing?
Man, it's enough to make you dizzy. One minute you think you found the next big thing, and then bam, everything's different. Yeah, and that feeling, of getting caught off guard, it's made some people think about DeepSeek like it's, Sputnik.
Sputnik, hold on, got to bring me up to speed here. What's the connection?
Back in 1957, right, the Soviets launched Sputnik, the first satellite to orbit Earth. And the U.S., they freaked out. They thought, oh man, we're falling behind in the space race. And for some people, DeepSeek feels kind of like that. It's like, oh crap, the game just changed.
So DeepSeek is like the AI Sputnik, a wake-up call that things are about to get serious, maybe a little scary.
You got it. And just like back in the space race, this AI thing could turn into a huge competition, especially between, the U.S. and China. Mark Andreessen, he's a big-time investor, even called it a potential Cold War situation.
Whoa, a Cold War in AI. That's intense. But wouldn't that kind of rivalry, wouldn't it, kill all the good stuff, the sharing and collaboration?
It's tricky, right? Like a double-edged sword. Competition can make everyone work harder, come up with new stuff, push the limits. But if it gets too nasty, people might start hiding their ideas.
So what's the best we can hope for? What does a good, healthy AI competition look like?
I think the best case is we push each other to be better, but we still share our findings and learn from each other. Like a massive science project where everyone wins.
I like that. Much more optimistic. But where do we fit in, the regular folks? Are we just watching from the sidelines as this whole AI thing plays out?
Nah, not at all. Actually, I think this could be huge for young entrepreneurs, people who are willing to think outside the box, especially now that the old ways of doing things might not work anymore.
Okay, I'm liking this. So how do young entrepreneurs, how do they thrive in this crazy new world? What are the essential skills, the must-haves in the age of DeepSeek?
Adaptability, man. Knowing what your customers want and being willing to, go all in where you see the biggest potential. The old rules, they might not apply anymore. We need fresh ideas, bold moves, and people who aren't afraid to experiment, even if it means breaking a few things along the way.
So are you saying throw out the rule book, embrace the chaos? Because I'm kind of feeling that.
It's more like we need to rewrite the rule book, you know? The basics of business, they're still there. Know your market, build something awesome, connect with your customers. But the tools are changing, and so is the game.
So instead of trying to predict the future,
Yeah.
getting lost in all the hype, we should focus on being ready for anything.
Exactly. And that's what DeepSeek is all about, right? It's proof that things can change in a heartbeat, that a small group of people with a crazy idea can shake up an entire industry. It's a reminder that we need to be flexible, resourceful, and never stop questioning what we think we know.
That's powerful stuff.
Yeah.
But it also makes you wonder, if that's becoming the most valuable skill in AI, what does that mean for us, for human intelligence, creativity? Are we becoming obsolete? Or is there a way to, use these advancements to make ourselves better?
It's a question, that's been around forever. Will machines replace us? Or can we, work together, use AI to make ourselves smarter?
Yeah, it's easy to get all doom and gloom about it. But I hope there's a better way. Maybe AI can handle all the boring stuff. And that lets us focus on what makes us human, right? Creativity, empathy, thinking for ourselves.
I think that could totally happen. What if AI takes care of all the data crunching, the repetitive stuff, things machines are good at? Then we can focus on the big picture, the problems AI can't solve.
So instead of being afraid of AI, we should see it as a tool, like a partner to help us progress.
Exactly. AI shows us what we're capable of, but also where we fall short. It makes us think about, what does it even mean to be human? What makes us valuable? And what role do we want to play in the future?
Whoa, that's a lot to think about. I feel like we just barely scratched the surface of DeepSeek and what it all means.
And that's the exciting part. This is just the beginning. There's so much potential, so many things we don't know yet.
Yeah, it's a journey I'm definitely ready for. Hey, Future Minds listeners, thanks for joining us for another deep dive. We hope this got you thinking. Don't forget to subscribe to Future Minds for more deep dives into all sorts of fascinating topics. And let us know what you think down in the comments. What's your take on DeepSeek? What do you think it means for the future of AI? We'd love to hear your thoughts. One brand new episode every week.
Until then, keep those minds curious.